I've never really done a post like this, much less on Reddit. I just want to put my story out there. I guess you can call me a drifter. I've gone city to city and state to state, and I find a place to stay, get work done, and then leave. After long hours of thinking, I decided on what story to bring up first, the one that started it all. And just so those reading can understand what all is going on, you all need to know where I was. This story takes place in Richmond, Virginia. I meant to pass through town, however, while I was driving through, my car broke down. I managed to push my car up to the nearest gas station, about 2.5 blocks away. Once arriving, I popped the hood. Nothing too crazy was going on. The car just overheated and the thermostat got stuck closed. I walked into the gas station to buy a jug of water to toss into the car so that I could get to the closest auto parts store. A man walked in. I wish he wouldn't have. With eyes dark and soulless like that, a monotone voice, without any emotion, like he wasn't human at all. Staring at this man coming in was so intense it felt like eternity happened in just a moment. It was intense and shook me to my core. Everything that happened next occurred in a flash. The man reached across the register towards the cashier, going for the throat. I just want to put this out now. I'm not a badass. I just remember my training from the past. I reached under his arm, pushing upwards on his chin, grabbing the side of his head, placing my foot behind both legs and leaning forward quick and following through with the fall of the man, slamming the top of his head into the ground. Black blood began to flood out, and the man let out his blood-curdling screech before flying upright and running out. I quickly tossed $5 onto the counter and walked out with my jug of water. As I filled up my car, police parked beside me. The pair hopped out, with one of the two immediately coming towards me, finger on the trigger. I noticed signs. Man was eyeing my hands and reading my body language, slowly edging closer and closer to me. The man was clearly trigger happy and looking for any reason to discharge his weapon. I requested that if I was cooperative, I not be put in cuffs. They obliged. So I was cooperative and was taken down to the station. After arriving at the station, I was left in a holding cell before awaiting questioning. While waiting for a man screaming something awful about monsters, he was sweating and shaking. I spoke to him just to hear about the same guy I had dealt with earlier. A few hours passed by before I was brought in for questioning. I knew it. Once seated, they asked what happened. I explained it not once, not twice, but 3 times before another man entered. He was wearing a black suit with a lapel pin and a weapon hidden under his slacks. He, unlike the other officers, believed me. No signs of lying were visible, so I trusted him when he said he was with an organization that works directly with both federal and state government. They're a third party, if you will. I was requested to assist them. In return, I'd be getting paid and may have a fair job offer, depending on how I do. What a deal, right? After being brought back to the gas station, I was notified that they fixed the issues with my car. I swear this beater has really been through the ringer. I was given a small envelope and a key with instructions on where my room was and what they needed done. All they wanted me to do was investigate where these guys are coming from. Yes, these guys. There's more than one of those freaks in the area. My lucky day that they found me. They had to have seen my old files. This is going to be fun. I arrived at my hotel and triangulated where each of the sightings of these guys were so that I can find their nest. Home? Hideout? I don't know what to call it. I decided to take a rest. Morning was soon to break and what I was about to do shouldn't be done in the daylight. How wrong I was for sleeping there. I awoke to the sound of someone trying to kick in my door. I popped the window open when a creature kicked the door in. It sprinted towards me and tackled me through the open window. For a second, I thought my life was going to flash before my eyes. I thought I was going to die. The thing was quick, but I had to be quicker. I need to survive. As it began to fall, I wrapped my hand around its throat and forced myself on top as we fell. When we hit the ground, I rolled forward. Clearly, I didn't do it well enough, though. I busted my left knee and dislocated my right shoulder. Shaken, I puked while leaning on the wall, contemplating what was to happen next. Those things surrounded me. I was done for. I was in and out of consciousness as they dragged me to their nest and hung me. They tied a noose around my neck and pulled me up. I was there hanging for 30 minutes when they finally cut me down. I was still half awake. I acted dead until I saw an opening. I saw one enter into their what I now know was a nest, and they turned to him, and I ran to the opening and stopped. I'm not stupid. When I saw first, one I knew, I needed to be prepared, especially after what was requested of me. I grabbed the 2 flashbangs I had pulled from my car the night before. I removed the pins before tossing both of them into the nest. I closed my eyes, covered my ears, and dropped into a ball to cover my eyes further. I am so glad that civilians can buy flashbangs. I prayed, God, I hope this works. When the 2 went off, I came upright. Holy hell, did it hurt. I fired all of my rounds from my first magazine and reloaded just to fire my second round of shots. 20 shots later, I limped my way out to find a man that gave me the job. He was sliding down the rope of a helicopter. Whilst he was sliding down, I yelled out one simple phrase. "You bugged me, didn't you?" As he landed, he laughed and pulled the bug from my watch. He got the jump on me. This cocksucker got the jump on me. He slid it under my watch when he shook my hand after offering me the job. Here, he would get tricky to write our entire conversation. So to sum it up, he was surprised that I cleared out this mess so quickly, when I was initially just requested to investigate, and we decided there was a terrorist attack. Afterwards, they had the field medics patch me up and decided I'll continue to live my life the way I want if I deal with monsters I find wherever I am. I was allowed to go after a few days in the hospital. I went back to the hotel and picked up my things and filled up my car and got ready to leave. I just saw a skeleton with a black cloak in the window of my hotel room when I went to leave.